Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Fine View. This video will be on Dundee United versus Hibernian. Uh, I wanted to do it yesterday, but just a little prior to me doing it, I've I was on the road since 5:30, 6:45 yesterday. Where I stay in Glasgow, I need to get the 75 from where I stay into Buchanan Gardens to Buchanan bus station. I do apologise. Um, and that came at 6:15 because even though I was booked on the 8:10 bus to Dundee, I wanted to leave an hour earlier, so I arrived an hour earlier. So practically, I was up since 4:30 yesterday morning, and I didn't get any sleep till late last night because I tried to get to sleep about 9 o'clock and I couldn't cause a cramp. But anyway, this is the match review, match report, my comments on the game itself. Uh, the, the, I know in the 90th minute, Fletcher made it 1-0 Dundee United, but prior to that, the first 5 minutes was all Dundee United. They could have scored a couple in that time. But Dundee United in the first half attacking the Carlin stand, and whoever it was at the Jim McLean, because United were attacking there. Someone down there, I think I'll look. Think was it Aziz? I think. So anyway, the ball was ripped in, and Stevie Fletcher rose above William Fish, the Hibernian defender, and headed it past Gordon Marshall. After that, Hibernian were flying into tackles. James Jago, he got a yellow in the 27th minute. I feel that might have been a red. When I've not seen the highlights, I was meant to see it last night, but I was too tired, so I've not seen the highlights of yesterday's game at Tannadice. At first viewing, where I was, because I was in the George Fawkes Lower, uh, when I first saw it, I thought it was a bad challenge. Then the next player to be booked was Egan Riley. I don't really know why he was but I can't remember that incident. Um, and that was then the end of the first half. Dundee United in the first half were a bit sloppy in their passing. The first half, you probably see why Dundee United are in trouble. I'm not fully convinced that Jim Goodwin is the man to save Dundee United. I'm not fully convinced. I said that to Jack Ross yesterday. Before I get back onto the game, I did say to Jack Ross that even though he had a bad start to the season, I felt United were harsh to get rid of Jack Ross. If they'd kept hold of Jack Ross, I don't feel they'd have been in this battle. So apart from the goal and a couple of yellow cards, that was the first half. It was 1-0 to Dundee United at half time. The second half did kick into gear when United were in the second half. Dundee United were attacking the Eddie Thompson stand. Hibernian were attacking the Carling stand. United had a couple of good chances. Stevie Fletcher missed it. I'm going to say an absolute sitter. Number 16, I think, was that Aziz Binish, crossed in, and even though Marshall was fairly placed, Fletcher should have scored that. Then, not long before Hibernian equalised, Niskanen missed. Niskanen missed an absolute sitter, similar to Stevie Fletcher. The United fans round me where I was, they were all going, it was the exact same against St Mirren, but he scored it against St Mirren, but he could have scored it here. I felt United could have been 3 0 up at that point. And at that point, you're thinking, is this going to be deja vu? Is this going to be another loss for Dundee United? Then Hibs went up to the end in 99. I can't. Mykola. I'm not going to even attempt to announce his surname. I think Mykola is probably the better way to describe it. So it was a breakaway from Hibernian. I think it was number 15, Kevin Nisbet, slid it through to Mykola, and Mykola made it 1 each. Then just as the game was petering out, Hibs made some changes. Dundee United made some changes. Then in the 90th minute, United were handed a penalty. From where I was, I didn't see much of it. To be fair, prior to that, Hibernian were asking for penalties left, right, and centre. United probably should have had a penalty a couple of minutes prior to that. I think Fletcher was brought down by Stevenson. Then it was given a corner at the Eddie Thompson stand. And I was surprised when I saw Jamie McGrath stand up for it. At the time, Fletcher was still on the field. I thought, why not give this to Stevie Fletcher? I don't know if McGrath is Dundee United's designated penalty taker. I've not watched enough Dundee United to know that. Anytime I do see them, it's probably against us or Rangers and Sky Sports, or the highlights with Stevie Thompson on a Saturday evening or a Sunday evening. So McGrath slotted the penalty. Marshall dived to his right, and McGrath put the ball to his left. And I was thinking to myself, right, can you need to hold on here? I was thinking maybe a couple of minutes. Just then, the stadium announcer announced Fletcher is man of the match. Me personally, I don't think he was man of the match. Loic, I think it was number 26. A fan was telling me prior to kick off, again, I didn't know this, that he was on loan from Huddersfield Town. And if you know anything about Huddersfield Town just now, they're being managed by Neil Warnock, the wily old fox, him, and I know there's another one. I forgot his name. Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace. But getting back to the Huddersfield man, Loic, I think it's Ayala. His name's noted down in the actual lineups. I felt he was my man of the match because defensively he looked solid. I know Hibernian scored. I don't think he was part of that. Looking at my notes, he wasn't subbed, so he wasn't part of that. When United scored 26, I didn't see 26 anywhere near it. I don't know if he's an attacking midfielder or whatever, but for parts of the game, he was in that central defence position. He had a good game. And looking at that, if anyone from Huddersfield watched the game yesterday, I think some clubs send scouts out to see some of their on loan players elsewhere. So if there was any Huddersfield scouts watching it, even if it was on Sky Sports or somebody from Huddersfield came up to Dundee to watch the game yesterday, I felt my match was like Ayala. I think that's his name. He was absolutely superb. Then just as the 6 minutes I didn't. I was there. I don't see what caused the 6 minutes. Yeah, there was a couple of injuries. But I felt 6 minutes was probably on the excessive side. But anyway, the referee and his officials said 4 minutes added, 6 minutes added. So you've got to do it. Then Fletcher was announced man of the match. And then Fletcher came off for Edwards. Then shortly after that, it was full time. The game itself, I don't think it disappointed. I think it had everything. Again, I'm neutral to this game. I predicted United to win. Going into it, I thought it'd been 3-2 because Hibernian, they've got fairly decent goals in them. I know after the initial break they lost at Motherwell, but Motherwell are on a decent run of form. But prior to the international break, Hibernian were not a bad bit of form. So I expected goals. I thought it would have been 3-2 Dundee United. It was 2-1 Dundee United. And after that, one fan said, "You're lucky charm. Can you come to the Livingston game next week?" One thing that I'm not going to do is any game I do go to, apart from Celtic Rangers, I'm not going to do anything Celtic or Rangers, regardless whether it's the men's top team or the under 10s, girls, boys, whatever. Anything Celtic or Rangers, if I do, I probably won't go to anything Rangers, but if I go to anything Celtic, I'll not be reporting on it. I'll just be going wherever. Next week, Celtic play Kilmarnock. I hope we can help the fellow. Well, I say fellow, not fellow. I hope I can help the Dundee United fans. I know some don't like the fact that there's someone not United fan in their groups, but I'd like to see that that they'll all be supporting Celtic next Sunday as Celtic go to Kilmarnock and hopefully wrap up the title the day before Rangers are at home to St Mirren. I'd like to think St Mirren could get a point at Ibrox. They get a point at Ibrox. We beat Kilmarnock. Then I think the title is secured. So that's that. That's the match report. My views. Quickly before I wrap this up, I can only do under 15 minutes because I've not got the subscribers to post longer videos. So I've got exactly 2 minutes to go. Next week I'll not be at any game. To be honest, I've kind of been looking forward to the games, but leading up to it, let's say the night before, panic sets in, nerves set in. I didn't really get much sleep Saturday night into Sunday. I didn't do as much prep for the Dundee game as I had the St Johnstone game. The reason that being because I prepped so much for the St Johnstone game, I didn't need half the things that I'd said, and I didn't say half the things that I'd prepped, and I didn't do half the prep for the Dundee game. I think that's why I'm kind of unsure about who's who. But that's all. So I will not be at a game next week. 2 weeks time, I might be at another game. But for now, to all Dundee United fans, thank you very much for being friendly. Enjoy the game, and this is me wrapping up my report for Dundee United versus Hibernian.